Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Cachet Tarot. I didn't see it created by on this one, but Top That Publishing is the where you can find it. TopThatPublishing.com. I keep tripping and calling it Top Hat, but it's Top That. Thankfully, again, I put that on the screen so you can see it yourself in freeze frame and get the correct information. Supportive Oracle Cards, Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish, illustrated by Jesse Reish. Website is hayhouse.com at the bottom there. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you want to. What do we have for Gemini? I'm not really sure which way this is going just yet. You got victory, you got prosperity. Why is that in the past? This is in the past. The Tower card. So, are you trying to figure out why? I wonder if that's what's going on here. Is somebody making you think that's not going to happen again? Do you believe that? Page of Cups, judgment against... Somebody had judgment against them. I don't feel it was you, though. Somebody had judgment against them, and they're playing a passive role in something. I feel like they're acting like they... I don't know. Did they play a passive role, or... The situation that you're dealing with, somebody played a passive role in the destruction of something, but judgment went against them. But they did it... That's the thing. How do you explain this? It's like when you follow... like you have a leader energy, and people just follow that leader, and they don't question that person. And then wherever that person goes, all of a sudden it goes bad. And then they feel like they're victims because they're like, I just followed them. They were the leader. And then look what we ended up, having happen here. The thing is, when you follow somebody, I don't know why, this is probably going to piss people off, but it is the truth. It's your responsibility to keep in check what's actually going on. You're choosing to follow somebody. When somebody chooses to follow another person, it is their responsibility to keep that in check and to make sure what they're following is what they should be following. If you follow somebody blindly, you can't play the "it's not my fault" game. It's your fault for not paying closer attention. You can't follow people blindly and just think I can just do that. That's not reality. I know that sometimes pisses people off when I say that, but it's the truth. Just because you want to follow somebody or you believe you should be following somebody doesn't mean you should give them blind control. You should always be double checking, paying attention to their motives. What are they actually doing? If it's so blocked off that you can't see what's going on or why they're making their decisions, that could be a very big football field size red flag. I'm just saying. But this might be, when they took a passive role, I feel like that's why judgment went against them. They should have paid closer attention. If you decide to follow somebody, that's fine. There's people in the world that need to do that. I understand that. I respect that. But it's still that person, the follower's responsibility to double check and make sure they know what they're following and be sure that they should be following what they're following. You can't, I'm sorry, you can't just say, oh, well, I was following them, so it's their responsibility to take, the blame for that. That's not how the world's not going to do that. If you're following a leader and somebody gets killed and you actually pulled the trigger, you're still going to jail for it. You know what I'm saying? Not to be that brutal, but that's how that works. Whatever went in the past, I feel like you're questioning, was it just a twist of fate? Because they're taking this passive role like, that's just how it shook out. It wasn't really my fault, just how it shook out. But was that the truth? Because this comes in a little weird. Kind of like, I feel like you're trying to figure out, like, was it though? Like, was it? Was it just a twist of fate? Or should they have seen something that they just weren't paying attention to? I feel like you're trying to figure that out. Somebody's coming in again. Again? What does that mean? Somebody's coming in. Energy's really weird with this. 4 of Swords, healing. That's good. Judgment in their favor. Healing with judgment in their favor. Somebody's coming towards you, and somebody's trying to pull you into something. This is all interconnected in some way. Maybe this is a person that person where they... Okay, there's more than one person here. The original person you were talking to, judgment went against them, something fell apart, they followed along with something, they felt like it wasn't their fault. This is a different person who's also connected to that same situation. That's why this is pertinent, right? Okay. That person is trying to convince you to be a part of something going forward. I mean, if I cheat and look ahead, that doesn't look bad. But there's something here that might just be sitting uneasy with you. Because I feel like they're putting in a lot of effort to win you over. The King of Swords and the Ace of Swords, these are very compatible with Gemini. You like communication, you like to know what's going on, you like to know the ins and outs. When it's a complicated issue, I feel like that's when Gemini thrives. If it's really simple, I feel like that doesn't work for you. But if it's complicated, it has a lot of ins and outs, a lot of like, what's that? What's this? What's going on here? And oh, let me think of that. That really kind of like snaps you into it. So they're doing a lot. They're telling you a lot of things. They're giving you a lot of variables. Ironically, I feel like that's just kind of sweetening the pot for you. It's the card at the top that keeps... It's really bold. And this is what... I keep seeing this. And if you're not aware... First, I'll say this first before I get too deep into this. There's no good nor bad sign. Signs are just... They work... Some signs work better with others. Sometimes don't... Some signs don't work well with others. The individual decides where they're taking that energy. It is what it is. But there's no good or bad. Nobody's good or bad based on their sign like that, if you follow me. That's how I read them anyway. Even when you have dark aspects, it's like that person and where that's going. But anyway, that's how I read it. Anyway, that being said, this is Temperance. Temperance sometimes talks about Sagittarius. On the zodiac wheel, this is your opposite. And opposites on the zodiac wheel, none of them match. None of them match. Not on the zodiac wheel anyway. It just depends on how they drive each other crazy. I've noticed this with Sagittarius and Gemini, and this is why I'm bringing this up. The ones I've seen, the examples I've seen, they get along really, really well, and then poof, it just flatlines. I don't know, it just it's like they get along really, really well for the longest time, and all of a sudden, like, it just crashes. And I feel like, ironically, why I'm bringing this in is you might be having that inkling, like, this is familiar, and this makes me uncomfortable, because you might have that same feeling. Kind of like, I've had people I've dealt with like this, that it seems really good in the beginning, and then it goes only so far, and then all of a sudden, it blows up. This energy that's here, I feel like this makes you very uncomfortable. Like, I feel like something is wrong. I feel like this might not work in my favor. I don't know what to do with it, because there's a lot of variables, and ironically, you do like that, but it's like the feeling, there's a feeling here that like something is off and something doesn't feel right to you. But that's also the energy that's not staying. This energy is transitory. So the question is, where is this energy coming from? It might be coming from that person that, is telling you that, like, they were an innocent bystander, they were just following somebody, and then at the bottom fell out, and they had to pay for everything, and it wasn't fair. They also might be that same person, again, who didn't check the leader. You got to keep an eye on the leader. You can't just blindly follow. That's a foolish thing to do. Some leaders would love that, but then you get manipulated by those people, and that's not a good thing. The energy is weird. Something is just not fitting quite right. Can we get a little bit more about that? Because it's like the energy is just, the current just feels off. The Chariot and the Ten of Pentacles. There's also the need that there's going to be a lot of work that has to be done here, whatever somebody's trying to pull you into. And once you're in, it's kind of like, it's very much, when I get the Chariot, it's kind of like once you're in, it's kind of a family mentality. You're pulled into this family and they don't want to let you go. And it kind of, that's how it feels. Like once you're in with us, you stay in with us. It's kind of like that feeling. That's what I'm getting. We're going to roll with it. You might be feeling like this might be good for you, but at the same time, you may also be feeling this could be overwhelming. It's kind of like, I feel like if I get involved in this, it's kind of an investment. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out that easily. It might be quite a challenge to get out. You might be kind of looking at it that way. Like, not that you can't get out of it, but it might be quite the challenge. Could I get out of it? I'm sure I could, but I don't know. Do I want to even get into something that's that sticky? You also got, it seems like there's a lot of lucrative benefits here. I feel a lot of, like, especially because I'm seeing prosperity. There's not really any money cards out here, but I do feel monetary value. So I'm just going to roll with it on that. Maybe because the prosperity has some coins on it, but so where are we going to go with this? I feel like it's making you uneasy. You know something isn't quite right here, but what is it? Somebody's trying to... I feel like also the fact that somebody's trying to sweet talk you may be putting you a little bit on edge because you're aware of it. You see it. You see right through it. You know they're trying to like win you over, and you're like, oh, that makes me a little uncomfortable too. Like, why can't you just tell me the facts and let me decide for myself? Why are you trying to sell me on this so hard? You're noticing it. There's a lot of opportunities here. That's ironically, it's weird because it's kind of like, it's a very deep investment. I don't feel like I can get out of it easily if I get involved with it. Also, though, it does feel like there's a lot of possibilities within this situation. It's very like, it feels very spider fly, you know, where the spider says to the fly, come on, come play with me. Let's go hang out. No, I just want to be friends. Chomp, chomp, chomp. It is. It's enticing. Is it good for you, though? Is it good for Aquarius? Or no. You are Gemini, but why did I say Aquarius? Where did that come from? You could be dealing with an Aquarius. You could be, which is a very compatible energy for you. But the fact that you're seeing through them trying to win you over, that's interesting, too. So you might be dealing with an Aquarius, possibly. The fact that just kind of popped out of nowhere. Justice on its side, 8 of Swords reversed. You're not... Once you get involved with it, because I actually feel like that's where this is going, you don't feel trapped. In fact, you see an easy way out if you want it. You don't feel trapped. That's weird. Once you're in it, you see it differently. Somebody tried to tell you that once you're in, it's hard to get out. And I feel like with the way they explained it to you, they're kind of like, oh, that makes sense why you're saying that. So it might be difficult to get out. Literally, once you're in it and you see what's going on, you're like, this wouldn't be difficult to get out. I could get out of this fairly easily if I wanted to. I don't feel like I'm trapped in this situation. I feel like I literally could leave easily if I wanted to. But I feel like you're going to love it. It's just how long are you going to stay involved in it is a good question. How does that add in? You got the 7 of Wands, which is holding it together, sticking there. You could leave whenever you want to. I keep getting that. I think that's what they're saying. 10 of Cups, half in, half out, and the Justice card again. There's going to be people you like, people you don't really care for. I feel like you'll handle that as necessary. You'll stick with this situation as long as you want. When I get the 7 of Wands and the safe travel together, I'm getting, you'll just hang out in this situation as long as you want. You're not trapped in it. You don't feel, once you're in it, you don't actually feel trapped. And I feel like you're going to like it. But once you don't like it, you'll move on. And it won't be that difficult for you. It's really not that difficult. Whatever this is, it doesn't seem to last any longer than you want it to. It's weird. I don't know. It may seem strange, but I feel like if you decide you really don't like this, you really don't want to do this, you're able to relinquish those responsibilities. Once you're involved in it and you see you're out, you're like, oh, if I don't want to do this anymore, I can just transfer this responsibility to this person. They seem to want it anyway, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. And then I'll just move on. Once you're in it, you see an easy out. So if that's what's holding you back for the situation, because something feels off in the very beginning when somebody's trying to sell you and somebody's trying to win you over, it's kind of like, oh, it makes me uncomfortable. Why you're trying to sell me so hard? And I'm hearing all this information from the past where somebody else failed and it's not their fault and all the other stuff. All that makes me really nervous. But once you move forward and you're actually in it, for you it's not that bad. Maybe for other people, yes. I don't think for you though. So this might be worth it for you. So if you're dealing with a situation where somebody's telling you the past and they're telling you how difficult it was and how poor them, and then somebody else is trying to sell you into going into something very similar, and they're really trying to sell you hard on it and it's making you uncomfortable, they're saying look a little deeper into it. You might want to give this a chance. It's not going to be that hard for you to get out of it. Other people, yes, but not you. You'll find your way. You'll find it very easily. You'll actually like it a lot. I'm getting you're actually going to like it a lot with the King of Cups. You're going to be very happy with it. It's just the fact that somebody's trying to sell you on it that hard. I feel like that's what's really uncomfortable. Kind of like, why are you trying to sell me on this so hard? Makes me really nervous. The energy will pass. They're saying give it a shot. It's worth giving it a shot. It's up to you, though, clearly. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.